Hello, everyone. Glad to have you today. We'll begin in about 6 minutes. Good to see you as always. Hope you enjoy the music. Noble Run, DeFi Roxy, Your Son, and Patrice. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Confident Speaking Space today. I am your host, Tim Brown, and I hope that everyone is having a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world. And I just want to express my appreciation for all of you being here today. Always grateful for your presence and never take it for granted because I know that there are so many other things you could be doing with your time. And yet you choose to come and hang out with us here in the Confident Speaking Space as we are all growing together. And I want to say hello and thank you to Teresa and Shari for co-hosting with us today because today Donika is out of town. She's going to be out of town for a little while. So she's on her summer trip to Albania. So it's always a pleasure and glad to have you two here with us as we continue to hold it down and just look forward to having a great conversation today and great interaction. And what I want to do today is just really get into some work. You know, we've had some great conversations these last several weeks, and we haven't had a chance to really do the challenges like we come here to do, a different level of practice and intentionality. And I want to be more intentional with that today. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time doing challenges. And I hope that you all have had a chance to see some of the scripts that were posted. You've thought about, you know what? I am not going to be afraid. I am going to crush the fear. And I am going to be intentional about becoming a more confident and effective communicator. And it begins with opportunities that approach us and present themselves to us in any environment and in any potential moment in life. We may find ourselves presented with an opportunity to do something to become better and to improve ourselves. And we want to do that today with some of these challenges. And what I've done is I've posted in the chat, in the bubble, or the chubble, as some people call it. You'll see where there's a link to the exercises where you'll be able to go and see the scripts, or you'll be able to see the tongue twisters as well. And I also posted the image of the ABC challenge. That way, you don't have to try to remember or count up to J or K if you decide to do the alphabet challenge with someone. And just know that when you do the alphabet challenge, that's a two-person exchange. So that means you would need a second person. And if you don't have someone already that you discussed and wanted to do the ABC challenge with, I'll do it with you. And I'm sure one of the co-hosts would probably be willing to do it with you as well so that you can get that exercise in. But I want you to enjoy yourself today. I want you to really have fun with it and just put yourself out there because remember, the more you practice, the better you get. This isn't a one-time thing where you show up and you make one effort and it's over and you've accomplished the goal. This is ongoing. And I've been teaching classes and speaking for 18 years, but I still practice on a regular basis. I always look for opportunities to continue refining my ability to speak, to present. I'm always trying to improve because we've never arrived. And I just wanted to make sure that we always keep that at the forefront of our mind. And as a reminder for those that may be here for the first time in the confident speaking space, this space is open for everyone to participate. Not only do we encourage you to participate, we need you to participate because it's your participation that allows this space to be what it is and open the door for all of us to grow together. Your experiences, your insight is all extremely valuable. And part of what this space does is help you understand how to express yourself in a way that you can be comfortable with so that no matter where you are in life, you understand how to be prepared for the moment because you never know when opportunity is going to show up. And sometimes it's a matter of simply being willing to open your mouth and say, I'm the one, or say, yes, I'll do it, or to be willing to give a response when everyone else is sitting silent. You just never know how that could affect your life or the lives of those in your family for generations to come. So I want to go ahead and say hello to Teresa. How are you today, Teresa?
Hey, PB, I am doing great. How are you?
I am fantastic. I am fantastic. Looking
Yes.
forward to the day.
Yes, sir. Me too. It's good to hear. Hello, Sherry, Mama B, and everybody else. I hope everybody's having a great Saturday morning.
Awesome. Awesome. Shari, how are you?
Hi, Dave. Dave. Hi, Tim. Good morning. Sorry. I don't know where I got Dave from, but I'm doing well. How are you doing? Hi, everyone in the room. Hi, Mama B, Ingrid, Lazolia, Teresa, Caleb, Brenda, oh, sorry, I'm doing, Noble Ron. Sorry, Tim. I'm shouting out everyone like you do. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very well. We actually are out of town today. The rest of the family is getting ready for something that's going to be happening this afternoon and later this evening. But as I said, I enjoy doing this space, and if it's possible, I plan to be here. So I'm here, but I'm doing well. And once we get this done, and everyone have an opportunity that wants to participate, then I'm going to go have a good time with the rest of the family today. So that's what we're looking at. So Abiola, I see Abiola up. Welcome to the space, sir. How are you?
Hello, everyone. My name is Abiola. I am speaking from Nigeria. I've been wanting to speak on this space for a long time. Somehow, I think most time I see about 100 people, and I felt discouraged. Maybe I wouldn't be given the opportunity to speak. Today, I decided I'm going to take the courage. I'm going to request for the mic. It's been my practice for the past few weeks to speak on a space, and finding this space has been amazing. I was in the last space. I see people were given opportunity to speak. I felt this would make me more better in my speaking journey as a public speaker. This will make me feel more comfortable to reach out to more people who are trying to do the same thing. And I'm very happy to be here. And thank you for creating this space. It is one of its kind. I've never seen any other space like this on Twitter. Um, I'm very optimistic that I will get the best from this space every time I jump on it. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And thank you for that, Abiola. And you will get the most of this whenever you join and the most of any situation that you find yourself in. And at the end of the day, the key is for us to take action. And you requesting the mic to come up to speak is taking action. That says that you are committed to the process of improving yourself. We don't grow unless we're willing to change. And many people either don't like change, they fear change, and they're uncomfortable with change. So I really commend you for having the courage to come up because fear is a reaction that all of us have. But courage is a choice that we make, and we choose that in spite of the fear, we do what needs to be done in order for us to get where we're trying to go and accomplish what it is that we want to accomplish. So I have no doubt, sir, that you will be where it is that you want to be. And just so you know, even listening to what you just said, you sound very comfortable, even in that moment when you share what you just shared. And I want everyone to be mindful that what we do in this space, it isn't necessarily for you to feel like you have to become this technical expert when it comes to speaking, because not all of us will do that. Not everyone even wants to get to the level of being a technical expert when it comes to speaking. But I want you to develop, at the very least, the confidence and the comfort to speak, to be willing to try, because the connection that you have with your listeners is more important than the technical savvy that you have when you speak. Yes, it's nice when you understand how to have all of the dynamics to be charismatic when you're speaking. That's nice. But some people are charismatic and very clear with what they say, but they don't always connect. And I encounter people like that. They're very knowledgeable and they speak well, but I don't always connect with them because there isn't the heart. And I want you to have in mind that the heart is extremely important when you are trying to be a competent and effective communicator. Are you transferring your heart to people to be able to really latch on to what you're saying? And that's why these exercises we're going to be doing today are so valuable, because it helps you manage or learn to manage the uncomfort, well, not uncomfort, but the discomfort of those moments when you know you're going to be nervous, those moments when you may not know what to expect and you don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you know that it's okay because you've practiced. You put in the work here in the CSC, and we've all done it together. And that's why I do challenges myself, because I still want to keep growing. So with that said, what I want to go ahead and do is open it up. And I want everyone to be thinking, we should start seeing some hands here very soon coming up to say, I want to come up and do a challenge. And what we're going to do is, you can do the ABC challenge. You can do the random topic challenge. You can choose a random question, and we could just pose a question to you. And then you could also read a script or a tongue twister that you will want to read to practice the dynamics of your speaking, because that's important as well. And believe it or not, the dynamics of your speaking isn't just for your public speaking and presentation. It can have an impact on your personal interaction with people. When you learn how to articulate your thoughts dynamically, people are more willing to listen, even your friends, and they become more captivated. And when you're in those groups with one another, they want to hear what you have to say, because you've learned how to master the idea of connecting from the heart, but also taking them on a journey when you share your thoughts. And it makes a difference. And just think about it the next time you're listening to people speak. And I try not to put you in a position where you become too aware of too many of the details too fast, because I have a background in video production, and now watching television just isn't the same for me. I notice when the camera hasn't been white balanced. I point that out to my wife. You can see this little greenish tint. I'll say, honey, they didn't white balance the camera. I pay attention to the cuts, the way they transition from scene to scene. And you can tell, it's like, wow, that transition was smooth. You didn't even feel it jump from one scene to the next. And that's what someone told me before. This person was an Emmy-winning editor, video editor. And I asked him, what does it take to become an Emmy Award-winning editor? And he said, when you can edit something and people not recognize the edits. And I was like, wow, that was so profound for me. And if you ever pay attention, you notice how you just smoothly go from scene to scene. But in your speaking and in your communication, I want us to have that same thing. So what I will do just to get started is, I'm willing to do a challenge first, just to get us going, unless Shari or Teresa wants to do one. You all want to do a challenge? Shari? Okay. So
Yes. Sorry, Tim.
No, go ahead.
Zoe and I would like to do the ABC challenge.
Nice. Well, let me bring Lazolia up. That is nice. And this is fun. See, and I like when people have already paired up and thought about this. See, this is being intentional, everyone. So what we'll do is, and everyone in the bubble or the chubble, again, you can see the alphabet chart. That way you'll be able to follow along. So there's no necessarily a set time limit on this. So this is just to see if they're able to get through the alphabet. And for those that don't know, the alphabet challenge means that one person will begin, and the first letter of your statement, sentence, or question begins with that alphabet that's supposed to be following. So we'll get to see Lazolia and Shari do this ABC challenge here in just a moment. But I want to say hello to Lazolia. How are you today?
Hello, good evening, Tim. I'm fine, thank you. How are you today?
I am very well, doing very well. So what we'll do then is we'll go ahead and get this started. So we're going to let you all decide who's going first. Did you all already do rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to kick it off?
No, but I'm older, so I have to boss her around. she, she goes first.
Okay.
All right, Lazolia.
Okay, I can roll with that. I can roll with that. Thank you, Shari, for pulling me into this. But you know, positive peer pressure gets us far. Okay, I'm going to start. A lot of people think that communicating is a difficult thing to do.
But really, it just takes practice.
Can you imagine how amazing the world would be if we all learned to communicate properly?
Uh, Damn, I totally forgot what I was gonna say.
Even I get brain fog and I forget what I want to say as well.
Emotions are getting the best of me.
For real, why do you say that?
God isn't on my side with this ABC chart going back and forth.
How can you think such a thing when you're a child of God?
Imagine how easy this would be if I could actually. Oh, I actually can see it at the top.
Just as well, you managed to look up in the chapel.
Know that I'm not on my A game today.
Last night, we had a ball chatting about the break that we took from this app, right?
Yes, I remember. That was hilarious. I still laugh at right now.
Now we're here doing this ABC challenge in front of so many people.
Oh my God. Honestly, I would not have done this 2 months ago.
Positive peer pressure is what is helping us do this. I'm so with you.
Quick, save me from this letter Q.
Really, you really did well with it.
Sweet. Thanks for letting me know. Positive feedback always helps.
Tim is an excellent example of positive feedback.
Under no circumstances would I doubt you. He definitely is.
Vienna is a place that we must visit after we visit Austin and Ilovo, don't you think?
Woo wee. Hopefully we get our money up by then because I have 2 children. Don't forget.
X is the best place to monetize. So we'll definitely be able to fund our trip.
Yeah, I like that because in a couple of months our lives could be changed.
Zolia, the little girl in me, is so happy with this exchange.
Yay, we did it. Thank you, Lazolia.
Yeah, that was excellent. That was excellent. And it was, I mean, the Zolia, abbreviating your name. Well, yeah, abbreviating your name and the and the quick save me. Yeah, that was excellent. So it's almost as if you all practiced this actually last night and went through it. But that was great. That was great. So
Um,
yeah, go ahead.
Tim, I just wanted to let you know I actually sent her a message earlier. I was like, Lazolia, let's do this, and don't pretend like you didn't see my message. So we did not practice, but I'm happy that we did it, and I felt a little nervous, but not too nervous. But I'll definitely try again another time with someone else, with a random person. I think it would be harder that way.
Nice, nice. And I knew you probably that you didn't practice, but it the flow, it was good. And it was clever too, the way you all responded. You both handled it. How do you feel, Lazolia?
This was so much fun, and Shari did send the message. So I'm glad that I checked the messages, and I'm so glad that we did this. It's always so much fun, especially like she said, when it's someone you know, it's easier to bounce off each other. And the challenge comes when it's someone that you don't know. So it would definitely be great to do it with someone I don't know. And I just wanted to say to hi, Shari, hi, Teresa, hi, Mama B, hi, Brenda, Ingrid, Villa, and everyone. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And that's one of the beauties of doing it here in this space. You get to experience different scenarios. You get to understand what it feels like to communicate based on unique experiences with someone that you know, and you can tell the difference in your comfort level versus someone you don't know. So it makes such a huge impact when you get out into an environment where you're preparing for an interview, you're preparing for a presentation, you're preparing to have a conversation with a family member, because for some people that can be very uncomfortable, having conversations and interaction with family members, especially if it's someone that you may be estranged from, or it feels like the relationship has been strained and you don't know exactly what to say. And that same nervousness kicks in, whether it's family, friends, or a boardroom of people that you may have not met. Well, if it's a boardroom, you probably know them. But it just gives you that exposure. And at the end of the day, it's the repetition that allows you to refine that ability. So I just want to say kudos to both of you again for doing that. And it was an excellent job. Excellent job. I see Mama B's hand, and Teresa, your hand was up as well. Did you change your mind about speaking?
Actually, I was trying to do the wave and I hit the wrong hand. That was it.
That's fine. So, Mama B, how are you?
I am fantastic. I mean, this was just too long. We missed last week, and of course, it was a valid reason, but this is the double the fun. So, to make up for last week. So, welcome everyone. This, these two are just too funny. Shari, when you said, "Oh, Lazoli is kind of come up into the the challenge or the ABC, however you call it," I thought, "Oh, so Lazolia saw the message because I'm in the group with them." Oh, Lazolia saw the message, and then come to find out, and I thought, Shari couldn't be calling Lazolia in the blind like this, and so you guys crushed it. But I thought it was funny at the beginning. I was not near my confidence speaking notepad. So I don't remember. It was at the beginning. Shari, you stumbled on the letter, but you actually used the letter without even realizing something. You were saying, "Oh, I can't think of something or something," but it was the right letter. And I'm thinking, boy, it was so funny that it's from my end anyway. It felt like you were not aware that you actually used the right letter. But you guys did a wonderful job, and I have to say that when you got to the M's, because you were talking about how you were talking in the back end or whatever, I thought somebody's gonna use Mama B as the M here, because my name Mama B would have fit, given that I was in on the group chat in the back. So that was funny. So I needed to come up here and support my girls. The name of our group, by the way, is the Boomer and the Gang. Yes, because they tease me about how much of a boomer I am, and I'm learning from them. So the name of our chat is Boomer and the Gang. So anybody who knows Cool and the Gang, that's where it's coming from. So Shari and Lozolia are my gang. I'm here, and I had to say what I said. I'm done. I said what I said.
Thank you for that, Mama B. I love that you all have created such a unique group, and that's something that everyone should consider. You should probably I would encourage you to find at least one group of people that you can hang out with and associate with in the chat, so that you have a connection, someone that you can go and share some thoughts with, ask some questions from or of, because there are certain people that we may follow, and everyone is kind of jockeying for attention and interaction with people. And it can be very difficult. And for those of you that have been around for a while and you've gotten to the point where someone, is asking you to come somewhere to do something or to offer something, it can be overwhelming. And you need that place or that escape to be able to go and just unwind and feel like, okay, I can go here and there's no expectations of me. It's just we just concern and love and care and consideration for one another, and that's important to have. And I want to say to everyone as well, and I see your hand, Shari. I want everyone to think about the fact that when you host spaces, when you're a leader on your job, you're in charge, or you're that person that people look to for guidance, you're the person that is always providing the support for other people. You need someone to help you recharge, someone that's going to look out for your best interest, to check on you from time to time, because you don't typically get to just share what's weighing heavy on you in those environments where people are looking to you for strength and encouragement. So keep that in mind. So think about your friends that you know are leading people, that you know everyone is pulling on and trying to get something from them, and just reach out to them every now and then and say, "Hey, just checking on you, making sure you're good. Everything okay? Do you need anything?" Because leaders tend to not get that. You may have heard the phrase that it can be lonely at the top. And when you're in charge, you can't just tell everything to everyone, because it can have an impact on the level of credibility, which it shouldn't, because you're human as a leader. But people do have a tendency to not see you as strong as they may have when they don't see what you're dealing with. Like with parents, for those of you that have parents where you see them as superheroes, and as they mature in life, it's like, wow, you know what? Things are changing. Things are changing. And there was nothing that they couldn't do when we were children. And it's like, wow, my dad, my mother, they can do anything. But sometimes people see their leaders the same way. They can do no wrong, but they have struggles, they have challenges. And for you as well, because many of you too are leaders. So make sure you have those environments, those people that can provide that support for you, so that you don't get overwhelmed being the magnificent person and individuals that you are in life, because we all need that. Shari, go ahead.
Thank you, Tim. I just wanted to say thank you to Mama B for the feedback. And also, I did realize I used the letter because that's the only word I could have think about. I think it was for I. But yeah, Oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. But I wish that, yeah, for the M, I wish that we used your name because that would have fit so perfect in the chat in the challenge. But next time, but Tim, I just also want to say it sounds like Mama B wants to do a challenge with me. So maybe next week we will be able to.
Or did we lose Shari? Or is that just me?
No, no, I hung
Okay.
up.
We lost
I
her.
was
We
done.
lost her. We lost her. We heard nothing about what she just said. We lost her.
I heard.
Mama B, why are you lying?
Good one. And and I think the letter that stood out to me, I remember, was when you said, "Damn, I can't believe I'm so stuck right here."
That's it. That's the
Yeah,
one.
that was the one. And I was like, "Oh wow, she nailed that without even, I don't know. I don't know if it just happened for you or what, but you did nail it."
I was actually scared to say damn in front of you, Tim. I wasn't gonna use it. It took me a while to say it because I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm allowed to say damn, but yes, I did it.
Oh man. But that was, yeah, great job, you two. Great job. So let's see. I want to say hello to Cairo. Cairo is up as a speaker now. We've got Melinda. Good to see you, Melinda, and looking forward to speak with you as well. Abiola is coming back up also. So Cairo, how are you today? You want to do a
Good
challenge?
thing. No, I just want to speak on online education.
On online education?
Education, yeah, because the confidence speaking, life practice, feedback, and challenges. Underneath, you have online education, family, relationship, business, and finance.
What those are topics that is kind of the theme. So what we're doing today is we want to do kind of doing some of the challenges, unless you have a question that you want to ask. What is it about online education you want to share with us?
Okay. We have setback in education, and online education will really, really boost us to be more productive, the teachers and the students. And online education will really reduce the time of study. Online education will make us study from home, study from school, study from even traveling. I think that is what online education is bringing to the table. So, and for us to be in this platform of online education, we need to quickly unlock our genius gland so that to ensure we can increase the speed of our brain processor and the capacity of our brain memory too. So because if we don't unlock the genius along the genius gland, it will be difficult to key into this fourth tech-driven industrial revolution. So we have to be more focused with how are we going to key into this online education. It's very, very important. We cannot underestimate this, because that is the future, online education. Because I'm seeing, why do I need to spend 5 years studying law? What is in law that I need to study for 5 years? But with the power of Internet of Things today, you can study law from home in 2 years, because there is no much physical, practical encounter when you are studying law. Everything is confidence speaking, life practice, feedbacks, and challenges. And this you can do remotely from home, from your workstation, and from the environment. So I'm taking law as an example. So why do I need to spend 5 years studying law when I can study law in 2 years? So online education will reduce that from 5 years to 2 years in the next 10 years. There are courses, courses we don't need to go and spend 3 years, 4 years. Some, a year you are through with a course. So online education is the game changer
Absolutely.
towards boosting our home, our businesses, our workplace environment. I think that is the little I want to speak for now.
Nice. Well said. Well said. I totally agree. Online education is extremely valuable for us to have. And I've had the mindset myself for quite some time now, that, and let me make sure I clarify this, that everyone understands that education is extremely valuable. You have to have education. And sometimes you have to follow the process of the system that you're a part of in order to maximize what it is that you're trying to accomplish. If you want to go to a certain restaurant and they have a dress code and they say no jeans and t-shirts or no jeans and sneakers, they don't let you in if you show up with jeans and sneakers on. So you have to dress accordingly and play by the rules of the people who own the building or the facility or who are in charge of the game that you're playing. And when I say that, thinking about life, thinking about the businesses that you may want to work for. And the online education is an excellent way to gain knowledge, but then keeping in mind that sometimes you still have to get that paperwork. You still have to get the paper in order to get the validation or the credibility that people are looking for. But online education is a tremendously valuable tool, and it's opening the door for so many connections, so many ways for people to expand their lives. Being able to get online on platforms like this and just so many different things is the reason that there are so many companies that have been struggling to keep people working, to have people stay on their jobs because they're able to do so much online. And it's such a blessing that we have this online technology available to us. And I have to make sure myself that we always use it wisely, with AI that is expanding and advancing education as well. I wonder, do we get sucked into a hole where people become so lazy that you just lose sight of the ability you have to actually create yourself when it comes to information that you're providing, and not just solely relying on AI to give you everything and just completely spoon feed you like we're little babies. So I had to remind myself, you know what? You've got to think, Tim. You have to keep thinking, keep thinking. Don't let AI turn your brain to mush, because if you aren't careful, it can, because it does so much for us and makes things so easy. But thank you so much for that, Cairo. So let's see. Melinda, how are you today? Glad to have you. Welcome to the space, and excited that you came up to speak with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and are you wanting to do a challenge? You're muted if you're speaking, Melinda. She may be having connection trouble. So we'll come back to Melinda then. So let's see here. So who wants to do the challenge next? We need to get some people up here to do this challenge. I see Truth's coming up, and she was going to do a challenge a few weeks ago. And Truths is one of those that has really been the truth over the time that we've been having this space. The way that her presence can be commanding, and she's very confident in the things that she says, and always brings a lot of value when she shares what she has to share. So, Truths, how are you today? Truths? Oh,
Hi, Tim. How are you? I didn't know I was going to be called right away. I don't know. My app is not showing me the whole full page of your space. So I thought maybe there were other people in here. But I'm doing well, Tim. Thanks for having the space again, and everyone else. Tim, you've done so much for us. For me, I've grown so much through your confident speaking spaces. You remember me. I used to get more nervous. Sometimes I still get nervous, but I've taken the tips you give us and the confident speaking skills and tools, and it's helped me a lot in many different areas of
Is
my
it just
life.
me or it's very faint?
Yeah, it's faint. It is a little
Oh,
faint.
is it faint? Okay, I'll be back. I'll be back. But anyways, I just want to say hi, and I will be back with a better mic. Thanks, Tim.
Okay. We'll be here. So I want to go ahead. Let's get some more people requesting to speak, because remember, this space is about interaction and about your participation. And I don't want you to miss an opportunity that could change a generation for your family of blessings and opportunities because you're afraid. That's one of the worst things that you could do, is to miss a life-changing opportunity because of the fear. So I just want to encourage everyone to come up and take the risk, to be willing to put yourself on the spot and get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how we grow. Mama B, I see your hand.
I just received live footage of Shari crying because she just longs to do a challenge with me. So I'm just going to just succumb to the peer pressure. I don't want to see her crying. So we can do the challenge. Okay, Shari. What do you want to do? You want to do the ABCs? Okay, we'll do that.
Mama me. I can't.
There we go. So it sounds like it has happened.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I need to write the ABCs down. Wait, where do I see them? Where do I
No,
find
you don't have to write them. There's at the top of the space, there's a link. Well, yeah, you can click on that and you'll be able to see the little, I guess you could call it a chart or a listing of the alphabets.
Oh my gosh, where is it?
Yep.
I spoke
You
too
see it?
soon. I can't find it. Where?
So go to the
in the
bubble.
trouble, right?
Yep, you can go to that. So it should be the
Oh
second.
yeah. Got it.
Yes, there you go. Yep. And that way you'll be able to follow along. I
Okay.
think the last time we did this, people did it from memory, and that adds another layer of difficulty when you do it without seeing it. So I wanted to at least give you the ability to not have to remember or start counting. Well, not counting, but saying your ABCs, trying to get to R or S. So you ready?
Yes, we're ready.
Okay. You ready, Shari?
Yes. I was thinking that it was gonna be next week, but it's all good. Um, Mama B, do you want me to start or do you want to start?
You start.
Another challenge on this beautiful Saturday.
Better believe it is.
Can't believe you got me to do this, Mama B.
Well, darn it, you keep calling me up here to do the challenge, so here I am.
Excellent choice of word.
For real, Shari. You're so funny.
Girl, why are you speaking like that?
Hello, hallelujah.
Insufficient funds, Mama B. I can't. I don't have enough coins for this conversation.
Just go ahead. Just go ahead. Just believe we are here. You called it out. Go ahead.
Kimchi. I had kimchi for breakfast. Have you ever tried it?
Lo and behold, no, I've never.
You don't know what you're missing out on. It's so delicious.
Nah, doesn't sound delicious from that word you said. Nomchi? Nah.
Uh-oh, I did not say yum cheese. Sorry, I said kimchi. Kimchi. It's fermented cabbage from I think it's Japanese, but it tastes really good. You should
Oh,
try
poor,
it. I'll bring some next time I see you.
oh, poor me. Okay, I pronounced it wrong.
quite a change. Um, you used O before P.
I said poor me. You, are you confusing me here? I think we're at R, right? I'm at R, right? Is that right, Trent?
R.
Oh, really? This is just so much fun.
Sweet. Sometimes this challenge may seem easy, but honestly, it's not.
That's for sure. I was scared, but I'm glad that you called me up because I don't think I would have done this.
Universal word. I think maybe we need to do some Scrabble in.
Verily, verily, I say unto thee.
What in the world?
Um, can I use Zulu here? Oh, 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 oh.
Yes. Your ex. Ex, what is that?
Why do you do this to me, Sherry? Zulu, Zulu, Zulu. Done.
Oh. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Whatever you say.
How they doing? What's up
Great
to you,
job.
sir?
Great job. 1 second, James. We appreciate you being here, sir, and glad to have you.
All
So
right.
we're kind of wrapping up with the challenge that Mama B and Shari just completed. So we're going to wrap that up and get some thoughts from them or some feedback, and
Okay.
then we're gonna get around to some of the other speakers. But
All
thank you for
right.
joining us.
All
All right.
right, good.
So how did that one feel? Listen, I want to start with you, Shari, since this was your second time around. How did that go this time for you in your head? I know what we heard, but
Ooh.
what did it feel like to you?
It actually was much more challenging this time around. Um, Sorry, I was just laughing too much to gather my thoughts. And also, Mama B losing track of the letters had to kind of throw me off, but it was still fun. I enjoyed it.
Awesome, awesome. And you know what you say about the second time around, it was a little more challenging. And one thing I noticed that when I film people, if we're trying to get a little snippet from them, their thoughts, and they'll say something the first time, and they get through it, pretty well. There may be a couple of things that they could do differently or possibly improve upon, and I would want them to do it again just to put them in the best light possible. But after that first time, your mind starts going. You start thinking, and then you start questioning yourself, and it's like, wow, okay, how did I mess up, or where did I mess up? And then you're trying not to mess up, and it can make it more challenging once you do it again after the first time, because the first time you may be nervous, but you don't feel quite as much pressure as you do when someone asks you to repeat yourself, or they may ask you for clarification on something that you said. So I want to remind everyone and encourage you, when someone does ask you for clarification about something, or they say they don't understand, don't begin questioning yourself as though what you said was incorrect or doubting the validity of what it was that you said. You just try to figure out a different way to present it and express it that may simplify it for that person, or ask them, well, what is it that you didn't understand? So that you can get to the root or the core of what it is they need an explanation about. Because sometimes we may start explaining something that they weren't even curious about to begin with, as opposed to just asking, what exactly were you not clear about? So I can try to explain it a little differently. But make sure you don't doubt yourself if someone does ask you for clarification. And that's what Shari just made me think about when she said the second time around, it was a little more challenging. But it was because she was laughing, and it was more about the laughter and losing her thought process, because it was a different level of fun with that one. So I wanted to mention that. But Teresa, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Sherry, Mama V, that was awesome. That was so good. And Sherry, I think we're gonna have to vote you MVP for today because you've done the hardest, to me, what I think is the hardest challenge, like twice. I don't know if anybody's done it twice, so you might be the GOAT on that one.
Goat status. Mama B, what's your thoughts on it? How do you feel about it?
It was so much fun. And what taught me is just the power of community, and the level of comfort with the people in the space, that I could just come in here and just surrender to whatever. First of all, I'm grateful, in looking back, because when Shari said, "Oh, Mama B wants to do a challenge with me," I was nervous, like, "Oh, no, no, no." But when I thought about it, I thought, you know what? Let me just surrender. Let's just do it and just, put a fun spin to it. I didn't mean to have it be as funny. It was because I just surrendered and I couldn't think of the letters or the words of the letters. So for me, it just tells me of the connections that we have here in this space, here in this community, that we could just throw ourselves into the deep end of the ocean. I cannot even swim, and have it come out in a way that connects with people, because I think that connected with people. Didn't that connect with people, Tim Brown?
Yes, it did. It does. And that's humanizing. It humanizes you with your listeners. And that's one of the things that I always want you to understand. It isn't about being a technical expert in your communication, it's about the connection. Remember the example of the lady that I described to you all, where her English was about as broken as I had ever heard. But after her death, she now has a middle school with her name on it. So that means she knew how to connect with people. So it isn't about the technical savvy that you have, it's the connection and knowing how to meet people where they are and not being afraid to say what needs to be said without questioning and doubting yourself. And she was very vocal, but she was also very comfortable and confident in who she was. And I mean, I even thought about it, listening to her speak, and it's like, wow, okay. That's where she is. That's who she is, and everyone still loved her for who she was. And that's why, for those of you who don't speak English as a native language, I don't want you worrying about your accents. Don't worry about trying to speak perfect English. That isn't the goal, and it probably won't happen because there is no such thing as perfection. And there are a lot of native English speaking people, which the woman that I just described is a native English speaker. But there are accents even in the US with native speakers. Some people are from the Southeast, some people are from the Midwest, some are from the North, some are from the West Coast, and everyone has a slightly different dialect. And we consider them dialects here, but at the end of the day, they're still accents. So there's not much difference. So be comfortable and accept and embrace who you are. And for many of you, you don't really understand that you become a breath of fresh air for people because it's something different. It's something fresh, something new that they get to experience when they do have an opportunity to hear your accent. So embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. So if you don't speak English natively, this is a place and a space that you're able to come and share those thoughts. Ask your questions. And just so everyone knows, for those of you that may have recently joined the space, what we're doing today is focusing on some challenges. We're trying to be intentional today about doing challenges because we don't do them all the time as much as I would like for us to, because we have such great conversations. At the end of the day, I want us to become more confident and effective communicators, not just public speakers, but confident and effective communicators, so that no matter what environment you're in, you understand how to operate. You understand how to manage your thoughts, how to manage your emotions, because you can't get rid of the fear. So if someone says, well, let me teach you how to eliminate the fear, they don't believe that because you can't eliminate the nervousness. Fear And that nervous emotion that you experience in an environment where you don't know what to expect is natural. That's something that God built into us so that we could be equipped to know that if something is potentially dangerous to us, our body knows to prepare us for that fight or flight response. Fight, flight, faint, or freeze. Those are a couple other ones that don't get talked about a lot, but it's just our body preparing us just in case you need to respond and react. So be mindful of that. So I just wanted to encourage everyone with that. Teresa, I see your hand, and then we'll come to you, Brock. I see your hand, and then we'll go to you. Go ahead, Teresa.
I apologize. I just wanted to just quickly mention that I love what Mama B talked about a little bit before you starting to speak. When she talked about moving in spite of the fear, just taking that risk and being vulnerable and surrendering can open you up to something wonderful and awesome happening. So that was it.
I was trying to get my emoji to work, and it just wasn't coming up. But yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I love that she mentioned the community aspect of it, that vulnerability that you demonstrated, Mama B. That's something that we all need. And when we learn to be free in these environments, because no one is going to stop liking you because you take a chance, that you take a risk and share some ideas or thoughts you have. What it does is it opens the door for you to become a more visible person in an environment, especially at work. And that's why I want everyone in this space or in any space you may go to, be willing to ask questions if you're confused. If you don't understand something, there are always going to be other people who have the same or a similar question. So ask it. And you never know who's going to hear you ask that question. And the thoughtfulness that comes with some of the questions that people ask demonstrates a level of intelligence, even through questions that you ask. So be mindful of that and just don't be afraid. Believe in who you are, embrace who you are, and just be who you are. It's okay to be you. You're you for a reason. And there's people whose lives you impact in a positive way that you don't always realize. Sometimes we will say things or do things that positively affects people, and they don't always tell us. And that's why even though I don't look for compliments and things like that, and they can make me feel a little uncomfortable at times, but I do appreciate it because it lets me know that what I'm doing is adding value, that it's making a difference, and that it does have a positive impact on someone. And no matter how confident someone is, we all need that from time to time, because if you all didn't tell me from time to time, then I would be wondering if I was doing something wrong. So it's one of those catch-22s that we find ourselves in. So I encourage you, when you meet people or come across people that do something that positively impacts you, let them know so that they can understand, okay, maybe I can help someone else with that same behavior. And it encourages and perpetuates the types of behaviors that will make the world a better place. And that's what we want to do. It's easy to talk about the negative things. People are quick to call the restaurant or ask for the manager when something goes wrong. But how often do they call the manager or call back when someone gives them great service? It doesn't happen as often. So I try to make it a point to do that as well. Even last night, we were in the store trying to find something for our son for the event today. And there was a young lady at the counter at the dressing room. And we were trying to figure out something with some shoes, and she was just being very helpful. She offered to try to find it at a different store or try to get it shipped. She said, maybe we can find the color here and there. And she didn't have to. She could have just sat there and just watched us go back and forth amongst ourselves. And as I was walking off, I gave her a $10 bill and just told her thank you. Just because she didn't have to do that. And that type of behavior, us being generous and kind to people, showing them that we appreciate the things they do, it makes them feel like it makes sense to keep doing that. And that's part of being confident and effective communicators. So I communicated to her without having a long conversation that what she did was valuable and that it's worth continuing. Because most people aren't going to do that, and someone else may one day. But at the end of the day, I demonstrated appreciation for what she did. And I'm convinced it's going to perpetuate that behavior for her. So with that said, Brock, let's go to you, Brock. How are you, sir? Welcome to the space. You ready? You came up to do a challenge?
Yeah, I guess so. I've been put on the spot here lately with some heavy hitters, and man, I tell you, we're doing great. It feels good and comfortable to feel the temperature of a room and also be the light of the room without dominating the room. So yeah, it's a good thing. So yes, I guess random or something off the top of my head, because I normally don't have time to prepare.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So
That's how it works.
That's how it works. So we'll give you, oh, that's right. You had Purple Rose that time too. So what we'll do is I'll give you a random topic. And so everyone knows when we do the random topic.
What's the challenge? I'm sorry, random challenge. Is it a random topic or random
Yeah, so
challenge?
you could do the random topic. You could answer a random question that I could pose to you. And then you also have the option that if you want to read one of the scripts and what the scripts do.
No script.
No script?
I've done enough of that in my life. Let's do the random question, because I did the
random topic before. Okay. Yeah. And Brock makes a great point. This is a great example how for us to be mindful when we do things, when we say things, something as simple as offering the potential to read a script. He's had experiences with scripts in his lifetime, and he obviously wanted to stay away from the scripts. So you never know, no matter how simple or insignificant something may seem, you don't know the effect that it can have on someone else. So as confident and effective communicators, we have to be open to accept what someone says they feel. If something bothers them or if something makes them uncomfortable, you don't have to understand the why, but just understand that it's possible. Because Brock, it almost sounded like Brock had a visceral reaction when I talked about scripts just then. So really, so pay attention when people are shifting or they're saying, you know what, I don't really want to talk about that. Give them a break. Give them some space, because there may be a reason that they don't. And what it is you're doing or saying could have an impact on them far beyond what you could ever imagine. So that's just one of those moments that I felt was a great teachable moment with what Brock just shared. So what I will do then, Brock, I'll give you a question. And so everyone knows when we do the random topic or the random question, we'll give you the topic or question, and you have 60 seconds to give a response. And it's your choice how you respond. So you don't have to ask me, how should I answer the question? You answer it the way you want. It's your choice. And there's going to be a chime at 45 seconds, and that lets you know you have 15 seconds left. So at that point, you want to be wrapping up your response to the challenge. All right? And you begin when you want to, Brock. When you hear the question, you begin when you're ready.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So the random question for you, Brock, is what is something you are passionate about and why? What is something you are passionate about and why?
I'm passionate about being grateful in life, and the little things that we take for granted are so valuable to our success and our happiness. And as I take it day by day, I start my day off with being grateful. And by the time I hit the door, I'm able to reciprocate that to someone else. And it really makes my day to be able to help someone, help myself, and give the universe or God the credit. Thank you.
Awesome, sir. And he had time to spare, ladies and gentlemen. So, Brock, let me begin with you. How do you feel about the response? What's your thoughts on that?
I'm getting good. I'm getting better. Practice helps. Yes. And I'm comfortable with how I answered the question and then the time I did it in.
Nice, nice. I love that. That's confidence. The way he approached, even after asking how he felt about it, could you hear the confidence in his voice? And that's where you want to be. That it doesn't matter, and even if you don't say what you think people want to hear you say or expecting to hear, be confident in what it is that you add. Because when you are comfortable and confident, it makes other people that much more comfortable and confident in what it is you're saying. Even if you just made something up and telling them a falsehood or a false whatever it is, people
And
will
I've done
believe
that
it.
many times before. Yes. I've done it. I got it.
But when you're confident and comfortable with
Yeah.
it, people don't know. And if they don't have the information that you have, they buy into it because they connect. So thank you for sharing that, Brock. So
Yeah,
Mama
I
B,
wanted to say one more thing. They fact checked me last night at
oh, did
the
they?
yes, they fact checked you or the space as well as Dennis Brown.
Mm-hmm.
They had no clue how close we were. Cause
Got
my
it.
friend, yeah, it was and he called him. He called him on the spot, and sometimes you don't have to fake the funk when you're funky.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And he's talking about from a musical perspective, just in
Oh yeah,
case, because
yeah.
yeah. Because sometimes, things don't always translate. So words can
Yeah,
mean different
that's
things to
correct.
different people. So I just wanted to make sure I had your back there, Brock.
Thank you very much. I don't know where that comes from.
Well, you're a music person, so it makes sense to me. So let's go, Mama B. I see your hand up. You wanted to give Brock some feedback.
Yes, Brock says don't fake the funk when you're funky.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Exactly.
Oh, what's going on today in this space today? My gosh, double the fun. And then and Brock says, "Oh yeah, I've improved." So my brother is feeling himself today. And yes, I'm so impressed myself because you sounded exactly the way you sounded after you did the challenge. Like there was no nervousness when you were doing the challenge and there was no difference. So you just brought yourself, the way you sound with your smooth and suave self in this challenge. So I really like that. I like the pacing. I like the confidence. It came through. And yeah, that was just really great. Thank you, Brock. Don't
Thank
let
you,
the
very
funk,
Thank
don't be
you.
funky when you're funky. Something. Oh my God.
Don't
Absolutely. Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mama B. So okay, Shari, there you go. You want to give some feedback?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Tim. Hi, Barack. I
hello.
just wanted to. I hope you're doing well. One thing I would say, like when he was speaking, it actually got me thinking. Am I being grateful enough? Because I like when people speak. It gets me thinking, and actually, that's what I really like about what he had to share. And also, I love the fact that when he was speaking, I heard birds that chirping in the back. I'm like, man, this guy seemed to be at peace, very calm and very nice and engaging. So I liked it. Good job, Brock. And of course, I heard you speak many a times in this space, and like Mama B said, you sound exactly like you do every time you speak. So it's showing the confidence.
Absolutely. Did you want to give some feedback, Truths? Or you're getting back you're getting back in the rotation for the challenge?
Oh, I'm getting back in rotation for the challenge, but what he did was so amazing. It was short and like very pointed presentation. So great job, Brock, because now, you know, it's something that I try to achieve what he did. It's focused on one point, and I would never forget what he said. So that was amazing. Thank you.
Impact. She will never forget that statement you made, Brock. And you made Shari question and wonder if she's being grateful enough. And that's why you have to be willing to say what's in your heart. Even though this was based on a challenge, that still flowed from what was in his heart because he connected with the question, which in turn allowed him to connect with his listeners based on what it was he shared. And the value of you sharing those experiences you have are so important, not just for you, but for other people. And it could only be one person potentially that resonates with what you say or that appreciates what you say. But remember, if only one, because that's all it takes. Because there may be one person that has the ability to change the world, and you could be the person who inspires that one person because you weren't afraid to say what was in your heart. So speak up, everyone. And if you need to practice, this is a great place. And there's others. There's always opportunity for you to practice. But I just need you to have the mindset that you're going to commit to being intentional about becoming more confident and effective communicators in any environment because you never know how you may change someone's life. And I bet, Brock, when you woke up this morning at 4:30, you did not imagine that you would have someone remembering something you said for the rest of their life. You probably did not imagine that. But that's the kind of impact we can have when we show up and we're willing to be ourselves and not be afraid to say what's in our hearts because it matters. So thank you for that, Truths. And I'll just say, Brock, yes, I agree with what everyone has said as far as, what you provided to us. I thought it felt structured, almost as if you had time to think about that question before we even came to the space. And it obviously connected with you, on a pretty deep level because that's the life that you try to live. So your pace was excellent. You said a lot, but you didn't sound rushed to say what you said. And you stayed focused. So you didn't go all over the place, like being on public transit where you got 50 stops before you get to the place you're trying to get that's 5 miles away. You got us on the bus and you took us right to the destination as though we were riding in the back of a limousine. So I give you kudos to that. It was a great job with what you did. So I want to go now. So, Truce, I know you were already up earlier and you were going to do the challenge and we had some technical things. So, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and go to Truce now. And then James, Pam's hand was up. And then Near, we'll go to you after that, Near. Good? So, Truce, what did you want to do a challenge? Did you want to read a script, tongue twister, random question or topic? Or did you want to do the ABC challenge with someone?
Random topic, Tim.
Random topic?
Yes.
All right. Random topic. I like those myself, random topics. So let's give you the random topic of randomness. Your random topic is randomness.
Okay. Randomness. I like randomness. It makes life fun because randomly you can just wake up and that day decide to run. outside in this beautiful sunny day. Or you may decide to make an amazing breakfast and nourish your body with some spinach and onions and tomatoes and grapefruit juice. Randomness is one of those things we must appreciate. I highly appreciate it because my personality is that we don't become monotonous and do the same thing all the time, which makes life dull. And somehow, for our brain, we do need this randomness that we have at our hands. So make it a great day and be random and change your routine. And this is why I love randomness. Thanks, Tim. Done.
Well done. Well done. So let's begin with you, Truth. How do you feel about that? What's your thoughts?
I like it because it's something I didn't expect to hear about, but it's something I love. So when you do something you love, I feel like life is a lot more funner. You can talk about it more joyfully. It's something that you're frequent. So I wanted to leave people with that. That was my goal. My goal was only to show that randomness is, I think, an amazing part of life that we have to frequently use. Because sometimes we get stuck of doing every day the same thing, which bores our brain. And I was reading recently, Tim, about how it is good to change the different music we listen to, different foods we eat. We must change these things randomly. So we're not like, practicing using the same muscles all the time, which is not good for our mental health even. So anyway, I felt good, Tim. I felt good because I was calmly explaining this thing rather than what I usually do, which is, you know, um, go all over the place. So yes, Tim, thank you. I would love to hear the different perspectives so I can get back to how I need to be. I'm open to that. Thanks.
Awesome. Awesome. So I see Mama B raised her hand for feedback and Shari.
That was beautiful, Truth. Beautiful. I loved the voice inflections when you started. You said randomness, and then at some point you talked about how, and you used the word dull, and your voice went dull. And so I love that, the how you used your voice inflections, and also when you gave that the ingredients of that food that transported me to a dish. So I like that. I like that. It was a vivid description, and it took me there. So that taught me how being descriptive is part of that journey and that connection with people when you say something. So I loved it. Thank you, Truth.
Thank you, Mama B.
All right. Well said, Mama B. Shari.
Thanks, Tim. I just wanted to say, Truths, you did a very good job. In the beginning, I heard like you're like, what am I gonna say? You thought about it, and then you just flew. You just went, and it flowed really well. The only thing, I felt like you could have stopped earlier because I got your point. Like Tim normally say, you don't have to finish the whole, like you don't have to go all the way till you hear the chime, because your point could have been made before the last chime. But you did a very good job with the topic that you gave, and you also gave what's that thing called? Like not the recipes that you gave. You gave like a background on the word, and it was straight to the point. Very good.
Thank you, Shari. Thank you. I will think about that in the future.
Absolutely. Great point, Shari. And what I want to do is I want to mention that because we will be closing a little earlier than normal today because of activities I have going on this afternoon. But what I'm going to do, because I know Kevin requested to come up We've got Raucho who requested, and Madev that are requesting. And Toby, I know we've brought you up a few times, and it seems like the connection isn't working. And we'll try again, but those are going to be the other three that we'll try to get up. So I want to let you know that I do see you requesting, and we're going to go now over. Well, no, before we do that, let me share what I was going to share with Truths. I would say, Truths, that it's as you explained after the fact what it was you were doing and why you said what you said. It was a great demonstration of how efficient our brains are when we train them to function in environments that we don't have time to prepare. You have the ability. You just have to practice and train yourself. Just like writing, you have to learn to write. You have to train your brain to hold a pencil a certain way and to put your words and letters on the paper. You had to train yourself to drive a car. You had to train yourself to ride a bike. So we can train ourselves to think on our feet like this. And it had this random feel to what you were sharing along the way, but it still maintained a sense of connectedness. But with randomness being the topic, it just made perfect sense that it may have had a random flow as you were sharing what you were sharing. So I thought it came together well, and I thought it was very easy to follow. The pace was good. And as Shari said, if you feel like you've said enough and able to summarize it, just use the time you have that you need, and don't feel like you have to force it if you don't have to add anything extra to it. But great job. I thought it was a great job, and you closed out well in the time frame that we were looking at. And it just goes to show everyone, again, remember how brilliant your minds are. Just believe in it and give yourself the opportunity to step into those moments that you have the ability to just nail. You can nail it. You just have to be willing to do it and not be afraid of it. And it's the practice that allows you to get to that place that you're going to be able to do some magnificent things and really impress some people with your ability to think, to be able to think. That's what your leaders, for those of you that still have jobs, or even if you're a business owner, your clients, they need people that have the ability to think, someone that can see beyond the surface level of what's happening and be able to look beneath the surface and help them identify problems and challenges that they didn't even realize they had. It makes a difference. And exercises like this, they may seem, for some people, they feel like, oh, I can speak. I'm confident. I'm not afraid to speak in front of people. It isn't just about that. It's refining the ability to process information when you don't have a lot of time to prepare. And you know what to do with it. The brain is amazing. The neuroscience is something that I really enjoy. And just understanding how we learn. So with that said, because I know we're on a time crunch, I'm going to stop talking so much today and give as many people as possible an opportunity to come up and do this challenge. So let's go over now to, let's see, it's James. James, okay, James is still here. All right, James, sir. So are you ready to do a challenge? How are you today, first of all?
Yes, sir. How you doing? How everybody doing in this place?
Fantastic, sir. I'm doing fantastic. I heard someone say if I was any better, I'd be you. Oh, James didn't like that one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I got you. So, James, you want to, well, tell us who you are really quickly. And then
somebody was calling me.
Say what now?
So somebody was calling me. Hold on. I'm back to my, somebody was calling me.
Okay.
I'm back. How y'all doing?
We're doing very well. How about yourself?
Man, happy Father's Day, Tim. Happy Father's Day to all of you.
Thank you, and you as well if you are one.
Yeah, thank you.
So you want to do one of the challenges? Which challenge did you want to do, James?
I just got into the space or whatever whatever challenge is cool.
Either one? Okay.
Yeah.
So I tell you what I'll do then is I will ask you a question. I'm going to do a random question for you since this is your first time. And I think this is actually your first time speaking in the space as well.
Yes, sir. It is.
So you get baptized by fire, as they say.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is you'll have 60 seconds and the time will begin when you begin your response.
Okay.
And the question is, what is your favorite childhood memory?
I was a deacon in church.
So, okay. So, well, that was short and sweet.
Yes, sir.
I tell you what. Well, I'm gonna reset the clock for you, James. And you know what? I won't, because I said you can respond however you wanted to, and that's what you did. So you kept it short and sweet. You were a deacon in church, and what that does is it gives everyone an opportunity to kind of think about what that may have meant to you and why for themselves. So thank you for doing that. And just everyone here is another example how you don't have to try, not you don't have to, don't try to give the response that you think people want to hear. Give the response that you have to offer. So James, even though he knew he had 60 seconds, plain and simple, one of the favorite memories of my childhood was being a deacon in church, and that's it. And I love how he just landed the plane. It's like, yeah, that's it. That's all I need to say about that. And was very comfortable with the silence in that moment. He didn't try to rattle on or try to justify that what he said was all he was going to say. He said it and he left it there. So kudos to you, James, for that.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anyone, Truth, did you want to give some thoughts or feedback about that?
Yes, good job. It's something that I will pick up based on what Sherry said too earlier. When you have 60 seconds, you don't have to keep going on and on like me. But I think I'm not sure if he knows exactly the rules, but I think this is so amazing because the diversity of people, how they will answer, and how you took that opportunity to show us it's diverse answers, but this also could be one way. So in the future, if we're put in a position like this, maybe at workplace, we can just say one word and that's it, and it's totally gonna suffice. So good job, James.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for listening to me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I guess I already gave my thoughts on it in the beginning. So thank you, James. So let's go now over to, let's see, Pam. I guess Pam may have gotten disconnected or she may have had to leave. Well, I see Pam still in the space, but if you're able to come back, Pam, we'll try to get you up if you want to do one. But let's go now to Near. Near, how are you, sir?
I always do great. I'm actually in the other side of the world, and I wanted to say hello and hi. I got invited by Ingrid to this space. I'm very excited. I'm a global educator for cosmetic companies for over 20 years. Um, I really loved what you're doing, team. I think it's awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited because I see people growing. I love that, people feel comfortable. And even when you don't feel comfortable, it's okay to feel uncomfortable and still do things in life, getting out of the comfort zone and move on and grow. And I love it. I love the feedback from everybody. I think it's great. And I actually came here just to share love and just let you know that we are all living in the same world, and we must remember the children all over the world. We have children in Africa, in the United States, in Europe, in the Middle East, in Asia, and we must as adults live life as fullest for our children and spread love and respect to all people, and not ever forget our children. It doesn't matter if it's your own or it's somebody else. They are your children, everybody in the world. So thank you so much. And I want to say thanks to Ingrid for inviting me to listen to you, team, and everybody else here. Absolutely. I have goosebumps all over my body. I want to hug all of you. Amazing job. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Near. We appreciate you being here. Thank you, Ingrid, as always, for inviting him to come. And that's something, it says a lot when you hear that people are inviting other people and then they're showing up. Understand the level of influence that you have on people's lives. When someone is willing to trust you enough to go somewhere or do something that you encourage them to do, we have to really be mindful as confident and effective communicators how we can influence someone's life in a positive or a negative way. So always be very careful and be very mindful of how you carry yourself and how you present yourself. And I always try to, I often try to remind people that you only get one chance to make a first impression. So make sure you make the impression that you want to be remembered for, because it's very difficult to change someone's perception of you once they've established something in their mind. It could be based on one statement that they heard you say. So just be mindful. But thank you, Ingrid, for continuing to do that. And thank you, Neer, for coming up and just sharing some love for the space and for everyone that's here. And that's another great example how you don't have to have a lot to say. You don't have to try to have something profound to say. But even just saying you wanted to share love with everyone, that's profound in and of itself. So thank you for doing that. So let's go now over to, I know Toby had been trying to get up here for a while. So let's see if we can get Toby on. Toby, how are you today? Toby, you're muted if you're speaking, Toby.
Hello, everybody. I just want to confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay. So I think this would be my first time speaking on this space. I did try to get on some times before, but I was having network issues. And I just want to thank you, Tim, for hosting these spaces and encouraging people to speak up. I remember the last time I could not speak, then I reached out to Tim and he encouraged me that I would be able to speak again in his next space. And yeah, I am now. Okay, so I'll just give a brief introduction. Yeah, I'm Toby and I'm a web developer. So I joined Twitter to connect people in tech and all. Yeah. And most times, I always have a problem communicating. I think it's because of my introverted nature and all. But yeah, I do listen to Tim and I love listening to Tim. And some of his words just encourage me at times to just come out here and just put myself in these situations and allow myself to grow. So yeah, thank you, Tim, and thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, Toby. And I love when people like you and Neer come up and give those examples that it's okay to not say a lot and people still get the message. And when we think about the idea of conciseness, which is one of our pillars, we strive to develop our ability to be more concise when we communicate with people, because you don't always have a lot of time to say everything that you want to say. And when you develop the ability to be concise, it tells people that you are thoughtful about what it is that you share. You don't just speak because you can, you speak because you have something to say. And that makes a difference. And when you understand what you're wanting to say and you're able to be concise, it can help minimize the fear and anxiety that you have. People tend to be more nervous when they don't have a clear path or a clear understanding of the message that they're trying to present. And that's when they begin to ramble on and on and on. And it confuses people because in their mind, they're confused. So thank you for that, Toby. And I'm really proud of you for continuing to do what you're doing, taking the chances, allowing yourself to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and just doing it. Just doing it. And like I said, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, but it requires intent. We have to be intentional. And it doesn't matter what I say to you or Shari or Teresa or Truths or Madev, you have to do the work. It falls on you to do the work. And that's why we're here in this space. So you have an opportunity to do the work amongst a group of people and a community that's going to encourage you, that's going to help you, that's going to give you guidance and insight that will help you understand that, one, it's okay. We're going to laugh with you, not at you, but we're going to laugh with you because it's okay when we make mistakes. Have fun with it. I mess up, I have my fair share of mess ups. And I just laugh at it. And I don't worry about that because that's part of being human. And that allows you to be humanized. So the next time you find yourself, any of you, making mistakes when you speak, Don't get into this pity party. Oh, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Stop doing that. Just figure out how to move forward and keep going. A lot of times people don't even notice it. And if they do, they will forget it just as quick as you do. But if you go down this path of apologizing, this deep apologetic mindset, then they're going to begin focusing on the mistakes and they'll pay more attention to them if they happen in the future. So just keep going. But thank you again, Toby. So let's go now over to, I believe it was Kevin, Madev, and let's see, I think Raucho's gone. So we'll go to Kevin. How are you, Kevin? Welcome to the space. I think it's my first time meeting you.
Yeah, good morning. I'm pretty good and I'm enjoying this space. It's my first time here. And I was wondering if I could do some practice speaking to try to get better, and maybe you could give me like a random topic or a random question.
We absolutely can do that, Kevin. And it will be our pleasure to provide a random topic for you. So you're familiar with how it goes. You have 60 seconds. The 60 seconds begins when you begin your response. That's when the clock will begin. And at 45 seconds, you'll hear the chime. That means you have 15 seconds left. So the random topic for you, Kevin, is popularity. Popularity.
So when I think about popularity, I think there are some advantages and some disadvantages. So the first advantage of popularity is if you need help with something, then you have a wide network of people who can help you out. However, if you're popular, there's also the disadvantage of people are always wanting something from you. You know, maybe strangers are always bothering you. I've heard about a celebrity who said after he became super famous, it was really stressful because of all the people bothering him. And yeah, I think that's it.
All right. And time to spare. So let's see. Where are you from, Kevin? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm currently living near San Jose, California.
San Jose. Do you know the way to San Jose? Okay.
Exactly.
Nice. That water gets freezing cold over there too. People think about the beach. It can be freezing cold out there. Nice.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, I know. But great to meet you, Kevin. But let me ask you this. How do you feel about the response to the topic? How do you like it? What's your thoughts?
I thought it was okay. There's definitely a lot of things I could have done better. I noticed I said words like so and other filler words, and then I immediately regretted saying those filler words because I was like, oh no, they're going to notice that I said those filler words. I also kind of ended awkwardly. I didn't like the ending. I think when I heard the chime of 15 seconds left, I was like, oh, I'd better wrap this up. So I kind of ended awkwardly.
Got
But
it.
On the good side, there were some good things. I didn't talk too fast.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably understand what I was saying.
Absolutely. We absolutely could. So thank you for that. So I saw some hands go up for feedback. So I saw Shari and then Near. Go ahead, Shari.
Hi, Kevin. Thanks, Tim. Hi, Kevin. Nice to see you in the space. You did a very good job for someone who just basically came up and it's your first time being here. You've never heard anyone done it before, probably. But I can tell, like, you were nervous, like you were thinking, what are they going to say? So I just want to let you know, like in this space, we are here to learn, and mistakes are something that's gonna happen, and there's no need to be scared or nervous. We have your back, so I hope you come back again, and we'll love to see you grow and encourage each other in this space. It's a space that is a very loving, supportive one. So thank you once again for coming up, and you did a great job. Don't doubt that.
Yeah, that's a great comment. Thanks for sharing.
Awesome. I totally agree. Near, I saw your hand go up for some feedback.
Yeah, I actually wanted to give Kevin. I wanted to give you a feedback because I actually enjoyed it because you were real, you were yourself. In the beginning, I can tell you were kind of like, okay, well, you were a little, in your head, and then you went right back to your heart. And I think when you got into your heart, it was so much more flowing, it's so much more confidence, and I think less thinking and just say what's really in your heart. And I enjoyed it. I think it's great. And it's not about good, bad, right or wrong. It is what it is, and enjoy it. And wow, wow, wow. Thank you.
Oh, awesome. I like that about head and heart.
Absolutely. And then Truths, I saw your hand go up.
Yes, great job. I didn't even hear the so and the other filler words until you said it. And I loved how you brought up the advantage and disadvantage, which would have shaped the conversation like nicely. And at the end of the whole conversation or presentation you gave, I understood your thought process, which is popularity had advantage and disadvantage. One is people would try to use you after, they get access to you. Like very straightforward and, you know, um, pointed presentation. I thought you did a great job. I didn't even hear the other filler words. So thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome.
See, and that's a great example how when we, in our minds, we know if we make a mistake based on what we were trying to accomplish, but everyone doesn't always hear that. And that's why if you just keep going, I heard it. The so that was the first word you said. You began with so. but that's fine though. And everything has its place. And we're going to talk about filler words, and filler words aren't always a bad thing. It's when we abuse them and turn them into crutches is when they become a problem. But I could tell that you were mindful. I felt like you were very mindful of the filler words with the pauses that you had. You sounded very intentional about pausing so that you could avoid the filler words. That's what I was thinking in my mind. So I love that you were comfortable with your pacing, that you didn't rush through it. But then, as Truth said, you had a bit of structure with what you said, giving us a pro and a con, which is a great way for people when you are sharing thoughts or ideas, giving a pro and a con as a way to make a point or discuss a particular topic in some of these spaces or any environment. And I would just say, don't allow the chime to be a distraction, and think of the chime as in any environment where people may interrupt. Someone may throw their hand up, or someone may drop something in the room that could serve the same attention grabbing stimulus as the chime does. And we just have to learn how to not get so distracted or sidetracked that it makes us nervous or makes us panic in that moment. Just stay focused on what you're doing and keep going, and know that it's going to be okay either way, no matter what happens. So great job, Kevin. Great job. Thank you for being intentional, because that's how we all get better, being intentional.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting me participate and for hosting this space.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we'll do is Madev, Ingrid, and then Soar. Yes, Madev, Ingrid, and Soar. Madev, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Tim. How are you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. So which one did you want to do today?
I think I'm going to go with the dynamic script reading again. But this
Okay.
time, going
I
to read
love it. I
something.
love it.
Right.
Yes, sir. Let's see. I want to pull them up. Which script are you reading?
Teaching a noble calling.
Teaching a Noble Calling. Okay.
Yeah.
And just so everyone knows, there's a link in there in the Chubbl where you could go to the site to see the scripts in case you want to follow along. But if not, you can just listen to Madev read it. And what the scripts do is they give you the ability to practice your pitch, pace, power, and pause more intentionally, even though doing a random topic does the same thing. But seeing words on the paper or on the screen, it has a different effect when you're trying to incorporate your pitch, pace, power, and pause, because that's how you're going to shape the story. And make sure that you're always attentive to the punctuation. If someone takes the time to put a comma in their writing, it's there for a reason. If there's a colon or a semicolon, it's there for a reason. And when you don't acknowledge the punctuation in what you're reading, it changes the meaning. And that's where a lot of people can get confused, and why I prefer to just pick up the phone and call someone. Because you know how when you're writing, you're saying it in your head and you're adding the emotion that you feel as you're writing in your head, but that doesn't transfer necessarily in many cases to what you actually wrote down. So what Madev is going to do is just add his feeling and his heart to this script that he's going to read. So Madev, we are ready when you are, sir.
I'm ready. Sorry, is there a timer for the reading? Because I didn't hear any timer as I'm asking.
No timer for the reading, because we know this was going to end, pretty quickly anyway.
Okay.
So no timer on that. So just do what you do, sir. Madev is going to be doing voiceover soon, everyone. No pressure. I wasn't putting any pressure on you.
Okay, so I'm going to be reading Teaching a Noble Calling. Teaching is more than a profession. It's a noble calling. Educators shape the minds and hearts of future generations. They inspire, mentor, and ignite the flame of curiosity. To all the teachers out there, thank you for your dedication, passion, and unwavering commitment to the betterment of society. Your impact is immeasurable and your legacy everlasting. So yeah, I'm done.
Well done, sir. Well done. So how do you feel about that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I feel better actually, because initially, compared to the first time I was reading, I felt a lot nervous. But now I feel just a bit comfortable. I was a bit nervous at first, but I was more comfortable than the first one.
Nice. And I could tell too, you were more expressive, even though I loved the way you approached it the first time you did it last week or the week before. I could still hear a different level of comfort in your voice. You attacked it today a lot more intently than you did before. Shari, I see your hand.
Yes, great job, Madam. I just wanted to say I heard you the first time when you read the last script, and your improvement is amazing. And yeah, I can definitely see why Tim said you can do voiceover. So I can see it maybe a movie soon. Great job.
Thank you.
It's amazing what other people see that we don't. That's why it's important for us to encourage others, because sometimes we just need someone to help us identify how magnificent we are, because it's difficult to miss what's so important and prevalent in us, because that's what we live every day. It's a part of who we are. And that's why, if you think about a calculus teacher, if someone is a calculus professor and there's a conversation about basic math, arithmetic, counting or doing the multiplication table, for them is very insignificant and just common. I mean, they're so far beyond that. But for the person who's at that level where they're trying to understand, maybe I should have said algebra 2 or something like that, where it's maybe it connects a little more to this audience level. But understanding that everyone sees things a little differently. So give that encouragement to people. Make that a habit and a routine. Make it a part of your life to give people that acknowledgement when they do something well, when they do something great, and when you see something in them that they may not see in themselves. It makes a difference. But let's see. I think it was okay. So yeah, I think that was excellent, Madev. Excellent job, sir. Keep doing
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing. And I think everyone can tell. You can tell that Madev, he's not just coming to the space doing these scripts. Madev is looking at these scripts when we're not in this space. To be able to read it the way that he did, it meant that he spent a little time with that script, and it matters. And three other people could read that same script and give it a different feel. It can have a completely different feel based on how you choose to express it and the way you use your voice and the dynamics of your voice, changing the pauses, emphasizing different words at different points in time. And that's how people shape what it is that you're listening to. So, one of the things that I tend to do is when I hear some of the shorter commercials, or even some of the longer ones, I may take a small section and I may recite it and do it a little differently and reshape the tone and give it a different twist when I hear it, or just try to replicate what I heard them say. And all of that is part of us practicing, because we have to be mindful and intentional about what it is we're doing. Otherwise, we just kind of aimlessly go through life and our interactions with people, never giving ourselves the opportunity to maximize what life has to offer. When you become that confident and effective communicator, it makes a difference, I promise you. And when you get to a point where you don't mind putting yourself out there, you don't mind speaking up, people will begin to seek you out. And I've shared before in the past that a couple of positions ago that I had, I got this position because the director at the time, he remembered a presentation that I had done. I was in this leadership development program, and I did a presentation, and I applied for the position. And he told me when we did our 2-question interview, he said, "You know what? I've been looking for someone for this position, and I didn't even realize, I forgot that I had what I needed right under my nose, because we worked not very far from one another. I saw him every day. But the presentation that I did is what he remembered about me. That allowed me to stand out. So don't be afraid to stand out. You have to be comfortable with who you are. Prepare yourself, of course, but go do it. You've got to be willing to do it. So let's go now to Ingrid, Sower, and then Gideon. We're gonna wrap it up with Gideon, because I know I'd already told Gideon, because Gideon in the messages online in one of the posts, he responded and we connected there. And Gideon said he was going to show up and speak, and Gideon is here. So I absolutely have to give Gideon a chance. Ingrid, how are you today? Good to see you, my friend.
I am fantastic, Tim. And hi, Sherry. Hi, Teresa. This has been, first, I must say thank you, Neer, for accepting my invite, and everyone that I've always invited to this space. Like I said, Bella was the first one to introduce me to Tim, and I have been hanging in there. Well, I shouldn't say hanging in there. I am contributing also to this space because Tim has really brought some sides of me that just listening, it makes you think, and then it makes you want to work to be better at what you do. Two things you said today that means a lot to me is also the intent. What is the intent that you want to be a, a good public speaker, a good somebody that you could talk to and have folks enjoy what you have to say and get different perspectives and just spreading the message far and wide. And yes, it takes a lot of work. And I know we talked a little bit about the apologizing. I totally agree about the apologizing is not a good thing, but it's you also have to have the intent to see where that apologizing is going to go. Some people take the message wrong, and maybe you need to sort of like calm the waters and say, you know, where I'm coming is with good intent. This is where I'm coming from. Because a lot of times people take even a good intent a negative way. So you have to like allow them to know that you could express that, but it's not an attack. I see where you're coming from, and just because I'm coming from this direction, that doesn't mean we have to come at each other. And all this here brings all that together. And I noticed that Teresa had something in her feed where she says sometimes the fear, won't go away. So you'll have to do it afraid. And that is so, so, so true because you always have the butterflies, and you just gotta overcome them and then just focus on something good, I guess, and then let it just flow. But Tim, I want to say that I feel that I've made some great improvements, and I want to thank you immensely for all that. And I want to thank all my friends that I have met in these spaces that have also given me that encouragement and teaching me to communicate better. So I love the fact that I can captivate, and I want to be able to captivate more. And it's just more for exchanging because we continue to learn, and that is a beautiful thing. Thanks again for allowing me to rant. And you guys have been great, and I will continue to listen because it's been wonderful. And one day I'll take the challenge because there were a couple of two challenges that I thought would have been nice to have done, especially what you refer, of being a child. What do you remember good about being your childhood? So, yes, one day I would like to take the challenge. So, thanks again, Tim. Thanks, Sherry, and thanks, Teresa and everyone else. Thank you.
Absolutely, and thank you. And best believe, Ingrid, you will absolutely get an opportunity to do the challenge. I know we have to leave here in a moment today, but you will get that opportunity. And I don't want you to leave the space if it's one of those days that you weren't planning to do the challenge and you get a challenge. All right. So that's getting comfortable being uncomfortable and not being afraid of the moment. And that's where I want all of you to be, that no matter where you are, no matter what comes up, that if someone were to call you out, you feel like I can handle that. What do you have? What do you need? Just ask the question. And at the end of the day, if you don't have an answer, then your answer is, well, I actually am not totally familiar with that. I have an answer I could give, but I would rather do a little more research to make sure I give the answer that you deserve. And that's a great way to say that I don't know without saying you don't know. And it works. So let's go over to Sower. Oh, Shari, I'm sorry. Shari, I saw your hand.
Tim, I just want to quickly say, before Ingrid spoke, I wanted to say we need to give her her flowers because I think this is the third space that I've been in, and she has invited so many people. And she doesn't just invite people, she tells them about people in the space and who is best to follow or who is best to listen to. And that's such a great trait to have, that you're not being greedy or selfish with information that you know needs to be out there. So, Ingrid, um, thank you so much. I remember my first time coming in here, you and Mama B were the first two to welcome me so sweetly, and it's really, really felt, and it's not going to be forgotten.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I think about that. For people like you, Ingrid, that do what you do, it's like there's got to be something to reward that on some level. And I don't know exactly what that is, but I'm going to figure something out because I feel like you deserve it. I appreciate the way that you do that. And there are a couple others that do the same, but people come in and they often say, Ingrid invited me. And it says a lot and it means a lot that you do that. So I really appreciate it. So we'll go over now to Sower and then Gideon. Sower, how are you?
Hello. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tim. Hello
Hi.
to all the warm beautiful souls. My name is Sora, guys. I'm glad to be here, and I just wanted to challenge myself and take that opportunity Tim just freely, created for us all today. And yeah, but I wanted, before I take up a challenge, I wanted to know what the ABC challenge is all about.
The ABC challenge is about two people that will take turns making a statement. So if you and I happen to be doing the ABC challenge, you go first, and your first statement would begin with the letter A. Are you doing okay today, Tim? And then I would respond, best believe I am. And then you would follow up with something that begins with the letter C. So you're having a conversation with that. And so that's what the ABC challenge is. So it really puts you on the spot, especially when you get down later into the alphabet. So that's what that is. So let me ask this. So you want to, let's see, there's the ABC challenge, one of the scripts that you could read. And then there's also the random topic challenge that you could do as well, if you would want to do that.
Okay, then I'm gonna try my hands on the random topic challenge today.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what we're going to do is, for you, the random topic for you, Soar, is going to be perspective. Perspective.
Okay, perspective. When I think perspective, I think perception, because without perception, perspective is non-existent. Perception exists, so perspective lives. And perspective doesn't really matter. And at the same time, perception is all that matters. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up here.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I love it. You say what you have to say, and you're okay with it ending. So how did you feel about the response?
I feel I could have said much more, but I deliberately just choose to not say too much or all that I know entirely. I will try to sum it up, but you know how the whole timing aspect is to be able to get clear points across that you can explain in-depthly, but you're not explaining it all and blabbing on and on, basically. So yeah, I think it's pretty, I think it's deep at the same time surface level. So I think it's a highlighted point that I'm actually trying to work on more. So I think it's good enough. Thank you. Thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. 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 So any I guess we'll take one person that can share some feedback, and then I'll share some. Anyone want to give some feedback to Soar?
Yep, I shall.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I love when people can just be a few words, right? And then I'm left, my brain stretching to try, to capture and just soak in what they are saying. That was impressive. Perspective and perception. So yeah, I love that. I love that. See, you are the person that I wished I was when I was growing up, being told that I talk too much, because I always wanted to be just so concise and just few words and yet be so powerful. That was powerful. I love that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ingrid. I really, really appreciate that. I will take that to my heart. Thank you. I don't receive a lot of compliments around my speech and verbiage, and so this is really, I'm cherishing that. Thank you so much.
Well, I feel really honored that I sound like Ingrid, but this is Mama B. Thank you, my love.
Oh, Mama B! Oh my gosh, no. Oh. My bad. I did not notice. I thought, oh, geez. Well, thank you so much, Mama B. I appreciate it. So, really, thank you.
No worries at all. No worries at all. I just took it really lightheartedly because it is funny. I love Ingrid, which is why I came up. Actually, I might as well say this. I actually came up to add to the bouquet of flowers for Ingrid because Ingrid is truly an ambassador here. So I wanted to just love on Ingrid. I love her, and you know it's wonderful when people are the same even behind closed doors because I've had a little DM thing with Ingrid, and she's the same. Like she's not faking it. She's not faking any funk here. So thank you. I'm done. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And it's so much easier to just be yourself all the time. You know, putting on facades or being something or someone that you aren't on a consistent basis. It's just so much easier to just be you. And I would say, and so, you know, I like what you did.
Say something real quick. Just say something real quick. Sorry, Tim.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you guys. I was having problems getting the mic, and I just want to say thank you. I really, really appreciate you guys. What you have done for me today, I thought today was a mushy day, and yes, but it's a beautiful mushy day. Thank you.
You are absolutely welcome, Ingrid. That's, you know, when we show up for one another, these are the types of things that happen. And that's why it's so important that we find people we can connect with. You know, as much as people will complain about the platform and the negativity, which there is a lot of it, you just have to be wise with who you choose to spend your time with. And when you find spaces like this, and I was very intentional with what I wanted to do with this space. That's why when people come in, you know, we stay away from the profanity. And because it can change the dynamics and the feel. It changes the tone of a conversation when people just go down the path of this very intense language. And I wanted this to be an environment where people learn, where people are comfortable, and where people feel like they can express themselves. And finding that place, that environment, because the environment makes the difference. You can't grow a cactus in the pond just like you can't grow a lily pad in the desert. You have to be in the right environment in order to be nurtured and to flourish, and sometimes to even survive. But you have to be in the right environment if you're going to thrive. And this is an environment that I'm very comfortable and confident that for those who are trying to improve themselves, not just being public speakers, because 95% of you will never stand behind a stage or a podium and give a speech or a presentation, but you're going to always have to have conversations with your friends, with your family, or someone. And you need to understand how to communicate and have those conversations in a way that they're able to appreciate what it is that you have to offer. And that's what I want. But also to be able to get the encouragement that's necessary. And Soar, you keep coming up here speaking in the space, and you're going to get all the compliments that you need. You say you don't get many on your communication very often, but I think you've seen today that if you come up here, you're going to get as much as you need to make sure that you continue moving forward and pushing yourself. And what I'll say really quickly about what you shared with your response, Soar, is that I felt like I was on a journey through the matrix. It was like the red pill or the green pill, is it, if I'm not mistaken. And you know, it was these twists and turns, and I was trying to figure out, okay, perspective, perception. Okay, I need to think about that. And sometimes we do need to make people think, but you clearly have thought about it, and it makes sense to you with what you said, and I was able to follow along with that. And you didn't take a lot of time to say that. You put it out there, you gave people something to think about and ponder, and you walked away from it. So kudos to you for that. It was a good pace. You sounded very comfortable with what you shared, and that's what we want. And it allowed people to connect with what it is you were saying, to take them on that journey. For anyone that's ever seen the movie The Matrix or any of the 15 of them that they've done, you understand that it's this journey that really makes you think, and you can't just see it, hear it, and just feel like you own it. You've got to ponder that thing for a moment. And that's what you did. So great job. Great job. And I hope you keep coming up and doing that. So let's go to Gideon really quickly, and then Gideon is going to be our last speaker because I need to wrap up for the day. But Gideon, thank you for coming through. You know, sometimes people tell you they're going to do something and they don't do it. And I've learned that if people tell me, I say, okay, I appreciate them saying it, but I don't hold them to it. And if they don't come through, my feelings aren't hurt because I know that happens so much. I've heard people in here say, oh, I love the space so much, I'm never going to miss a Saturday. And then the very next Saturday, they don't come back. You know, so you recognize those types of things and you appreciate the excitement because people get excited in the moment and people will say anything when they're excited, but you have to think about what comes after, what comes after you have that moment of excitement. And are you really committed to what it is that you said? So be careful before you speak because it may not be what you really mean or are going to be able to commit to going forward.
Hello.
And that's why on my job, as I have new ideas, because if I have downtime, I'm always thinking about the next move I can make. What can I do to learn, grow, and improve myself or improve a process within the organization? But I never share it with my leadership unless I feel like I'm willing to own the process and take it all the way from beginning to end, because I don't want to push it off on someone else and create work for other people. But I also want to make sure that I've thought it through, that I actually have the time and the ability to actually follow through with it. So just something to think about, even with our words. It's important. So Gideon.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you. How are you today?
Okay, fine. So yes, my name is Gideon, and I am from Uganda, and I'm a designer. Yeah, that's what I do. Oh.
Very nice, Gideon. So we come across all kinds of people, all types of backgrounds, and you never know who you're going to meet and encounter. So thank you for coming up and sharing that with us. So did you want that to be your first introduction for us today? You just wanted to share where you are and your background, what it is you do for us today, which will be totally fine.
I don't get the question clearly.
Did you want to do a challenge, or you just wanted to introduce yourself today? Just taking that first step.
I wanted to do the challenge.
Okay.
To try the challenge, yeah.
Got it. So which challenge do you want to do? You want a random topic or a question?
You can ask the question.
Okay, you want a random question. Yes. Okay. So the question is going to be for you, Gideon. And remember, you have 60 seconds. At 45 seconds, you hear that chime, which means you have 15 seconds left. And the timer won't begin until you begin your response. So the question for you, Gideon, is if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
Well, as a kid, I used when I watch cartoons, so I think it was to fly, because I want to know how that feels like, going through the air. Yeah, if there was a superpower, I could like to. My brain is going blank. But anyway, if there's a superpower I could use, it is to fly. That's what came to my mind right now. Yeah.
Hey, fair enough. And you know what, Gideon? You actually could have ended once you told us, because the question was, what would the superpower be and why?
And why?
And when you explained to us that flying is your superpower that you would want, based on your childhood. You know, you would want to be able to fly. And the reason was that you wanted to be able to feel what it was like to go through the air. And you answered the
Yes.
question. And if you wanted to stop there, you could have, and it would have been perfectly fine. And what I think may have happened is in your mind, you felt like it wasn't enough for us to understand what you really wanted us to understand, when in fact it really was. So simple is fine. It's okay to be simple. It's okay to be simple. As long as you share the point that you want to make, simple is perfectly fine. Sometimes simple is best. But how do you feel about the response?
I need to practice more.
Well, sir, we all do.
Like, yes, like the thing is, when you are speaking and also speaking at the same time, I think that's where the confusion starts. So working on that, taking the question in, then letting it come out. Yeah.
Great point. Great point. And we think faster than we speak. And it can be difficult trying to speak as fast as we think. And that makes it uncomfortable because your mind is moving a mile a minute and your mouth can't keep up. So we kind of get lost in those thoughts. And that's one reason it's so important that, and this is outside of the challenge, because some people get stuck in this where their mind is thinking too fast and they can't keep up with their mouth and they begin to ramble. But it's okay. And I'm glad you had that experience, because now you understand what it is that you were dealing with and you will be able to process that. And it gives you an opportunity to figure out how to not get stuck in that moment, or how to just take that pause and don't allow yourself to feel like you messed up. Don't see it as a mistake. And that's what people often do. And then you start wanting to ramble. It's natural that we do that. But it was perfectly fine. And I really appreciate that you came up to do that. But I saw Mama B's hand go up and then soar, that I think want to give you some feedback. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and close up. Mama B?
Yes, Gideon. Oh, kudos to you for coming up and doing the challenge. And I like that Tim emphasized again that simple is fine, because simple does connect. And because you mentioned, you introduced yourself. I know it was not part of the challenge, but because you introduced yourself, when you said about your childhood that you would, as a child, you always wished you would fly, I actually imagined, because maybe it's because I'm from that part of the world. I'm from Africa too, so I did imagine a little child sitting out and seeing, reading or looking at the airplane or whatever and wishing that they could fly, so even in that simplicity, you were able to connect. I connected with it. So it just goes to show that you never know who's listening, right? And not to worry about what you are saying, if it's going to connect with people, because it does. There's someone in the audience that's going to connect with. So simplicity is fine. Thank you.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And little kids in America wanted to fly too, just in case. So I thought about flying myself. What's Sower? I saw you wanted to give some feedback.
To be honest, that wasn't the point when I raised my hand up, but I mean, I would say, Gideon, applause for the courage to take up that, chance and that opportunity. And I will acknowledge the fact that you acknowledge within your own self that you need practice, and that's a step forward already. So yeah, consistency, you're gonna get there. And I actually rose my hand up so I could do one more challenge if you would allow, Tim, but I mean, I'm gonna give that over to you too.
Well, I tell you what, how about I put you down as the first person to do a challenge next week? That work?
That is, yes.
Okay.
Great.
So you will be first on the list. And remind me if I forget and try to accidentally put someone before you, but you get the first dibs on the challenge next week. So Shari, I see your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to say kudos to Gideon. And I can still hear it in his voice that he still imagined what it would be like. Like it felt like he wanted to run outside and see if he'll actually fly. So I mean, I can feel that also because I remember where I grew up, we had like this huge pasture right across from my house, and there was a plane that used to fertilize the bananas because my island, we used to ship bananas to the UK, and all the children used to chase down this little airplane. So it brought me back to that, just like Mama B said, like your share resonated with me too. So, and I also like the fact that you said you're going to practice. I think that's the most important thing there, that practice, like Tim said, when I grew up, it was practice makes perfect, but I love that Tim says practice makes progress. And I'm looking forward to seeing your growth in this space.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Thank you for that, Shari. And I just want to say really quickly as we get ready to wrap up, just a reminder. So one of the things we do in the space is focus on progress. And I want you to always be moving forward. And whether you speak or not, it's fine. As long as if you're coming and you're listening, I know that you're learning. But I know that you learn more when you participate. And I want you to have in mind that if you come up as a speaker, because some people it's terrifying just to simply see the word speaker under their name, that's okay. So we're fine if you come up as a speaker for a minute and just be a speaker, just to feel what that's like. But I want you to continue progressing to becoming a speaker where you actually say something. That's when you really get the experience of what it means to make even more progress and feel those butterflies in the midst of you taking action and being intentional. And we just continue moving forward and continue building and look at the mistakes as opportunities. They're opportunities to be able to make progress and refine your skills and abilities. And we don't call on people unless they raise their hand. And I do that intentionally for those who may come up just to see the word speaker under their name. So we don't want you to feel pressure of having to say, well, I'm not ready to say anything yet, or put you on the spot until you're ready to actually speak. So I forgot to mention that earlier today. So, but I know that you were up here, and I appreciate you being here, and you may already know that, and that's why you didn't raise your hand. But I just wanted to say that, just so you know why I didn't call on you, because we don't call on people to actually speak unless they raise their hand, because they may not be ready yet, and I want you to be comfortable with that first step. But what I want to do is I just want to share that, how important the connection is, and exposing yourself to different ideas, different environments, but positive environments. And so Mama B does a space called Intuitive Parenting, and they talk about having better relationships with your kids, between parents and children. Luan is here in the space, and she does a lot of great spaces and just a lot of thoughtful and insightful spaces that she does, different topics that you can't really pigeonhole what she does necessarily, but it's just a broad range of thoughtfulness that she discusses in her space. And she recently started doing her space. So, show all of them some support, in both of them. Lazolia does a space, understanding how to connect with who you are and your priorities of life and your I'm drawing, hold on, let me do this right quick. I was drawing a blank. Lazolia, I know what you do. Connecting with your values. And see, everyone, I kind of lost my thought trying to figure out what to say. So I took a moment and I figured out how to fix it. So I just went and looked at her profile. So Lazolia does spaces on helping you connect with your values and understand what your values are and how they can help improve your life. Christelle does the spaces on AI. She does the broadcast now, and all things just education and growing and improving and learning how to use technology to make money And as Carol Brown mentioned earlier about online education, that's something that Christelle does in her spaces. And then there's Stephanie. Stephanie does spaces about relationships, and then she'll bring money in there sometimes as well. So that's a great space or great spaces to go in and just, again, get some insight on different aspects of life, because all of this comes together. And I chose confident speaking because no matter what space you go to, this space that we're in right now has an impact on everything you do in life. There is nothing you can choose to do in life that does not begin with communication. So confident and effective communication is our goal, so that you're able to navigate life at any level with any group of people at any level of education and be comfortable, because you believe in yourself enough and the value that you bring, that you will be able to share the things that are important to you. Because if it's important to you, it may be important to someone else. And one of the things that a lot of us do, all of us do it, but we don't necessarily understand why. When we hear someone speak and share something, there are things that we admire about what they say or how they said it, but we fail to remember that you do the exact same thing. Because you're so familiar with yourself, you don't really understand how to appreciate the value of what and how you present what it is you have to offer, but other people do. And that's why you get the compliments you get. That's why people come to you for guidance, because you have the very same effect on other people that the people you admire and respect have on you. So just to know that your words matter, your thoughts and ideas matter, and don't be afraid to express them when those moments come, because if it's been placed in your heart to share, and for me, based on my relationship with God, I'm afraid not to do something or say something if God puts it on my heart to do it. Because in my mind, what I've learned is that my disobedience could potentially cost someone their life, because I didn't give them a warning I was supposed to give them, or I didn't give them the encouragement that they needed that may have prevented them from harming themselves later on that night. So you never know when it's heavy in your heart. And something that in the word, it says, Jeremiah had this moment where it's like fire shut up in his bones. And even if you've never read the Bible, you will understand this feeling where sometimes something is so heavy on you, you just feel your bones burning inside that, oh man, I've got to do this. And this nervousness, this bit of anxiety that you feel, but you just know something has to happen. And when I experience that, that's when I absolutely know. It doesn't matter who's around, no matter what they're thinking or feeling, I'm going to make sure I resolve that. I'm going to quench that fire in that moment, because I understand that it's extremely important when I feel the fire shut up in my bones. So be mindful of that, and don't be afraid to be who you are, to share what it is that you're supposed to share for people, because always remember, your words could potentially save someone's life. Not just change it, but potentially save it. So keep that in mind. But there are a number of other people. Josh Hellman does a space called the Innovators Think Tank every Saturday. His space begins at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And a lot of great information for those of you that are innovators and entrepreneurs that are trying to get your businesses going. Great place to go and share your pitches about what you're trying to accomplish and get feedback from people. And then there are some others that are going to be starting spaces. They have spaces beginning soon. Like Shari's probably going to be doing a space soon, and others that will be doing spaces. Teresa's probably going to be doing a space here soon. I know she didn't tell me that, but she is. I'm telling her that. Monique does a space about self-care and helping people figure out how to be innovative with the way that they take care of themselves, and understanding the impact of your emotions, how your feelings affect your well-being physically. So it's just so much going on. And when you come into spaces like this and others, I'm not just saying that this is the best and the only good space on X, because there are a lot of others, but it's just making sure that we share what other people are doing, that we connect. Just like Ingrid had a fantastic day where people got to give her flowers Soar was able to get some of the compliments about her communication that she deserves, but doesn't always get because people don't understand the value and importance of acknowledging the things that people do well or acknowledging what you appreciate about people. And those are just the things that we try to do in this space. So thank you all very much for that. And I want to see if Teresa, you have anything you want to share before we go?
Just quickly, today was amazing as always, and I love how today was very fun. Just a lot of fun today, and all about the challenges for people to come, practice, and get better. I just hope everybody has an amazing week coming up, and that's it for me.
All right. Thank you very much, Teresa. Shari.
Yes, 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 yes. I am just so grateful for this space. I've mentioned it before that Tim Brown actually changed so much of my perspective, and I know God sent him, and so many people here. There's someone in the audience that means so much to me. Ole Konyori, I met in Lozolia's space, and the things that he said to me encouraged me so much that it makes me tear up sometimes. But I just want anyone out there who is going through being fearful, because 2 months ago, I would not be here. I would not be talking. I would not be doing this. But I'm so grateful that I have surrounded myself with the right connectors, and it's working for me, and it's working for my children and my family. And I'm just so grateful. And I want to say again, thank you, Tim Brown. Thank you, Lozolia, Mama B, Ingrid, Stephanie. And guys, these people are I met them in spaces. It's not like I was somewhere accidentally. It was spaces. Spaces can change lives. Thank you so much, Tim, and I hope everyone have a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shari. And I get excited when people are able to share the transformation that they experience when they spend time with us, because this is a community of learners and we're all growing together. And that's why I continue to emphasize that, because I myself continue to grow. And I've shared here publicly moments that I've grown where I could have done something differently, and I chose a different approach because I learned in real time in the moment here in the space and was vulnerable enough to share with you how I could have done something differently, because we all have an opportunity to grow. None of us are perfect, and we all need to maintain that mindset that there's room to improve always. We always have room to improve. And when we feel like we can't improve, watch out, because it's going to be a long road ahead when you feel like there's nothing else for you to learn. So thank you, Shari. Thank you, Teresa. And Olu Kayode, I was thinking about this. I wanted to know if it's okay for me to call you Olu. Would that be okay? I won't abbreviate it if you prefer me to use the full name, but when I think about you, I just think Olu. And can you hear me, Olu Kayode? Okay, all right. So Olu, I'm big on what you consider these terms of endearment, and I just feel like it's a different type of relationship when people have nicknames. So I like you said, Shari, Olu he said some things to me that I know were inspired by God, and so he's Olu to me. So what we'll do is, let's see here. Okay, I guess I have to do this really quickly. Olu.
Hey, my brother. Yes, please go for it. Just one caveat. Olu in my language means God. So if you're comfortable calling me God, that's okay. But in my language, Olu means God. My name in full actually means God has brought joy. That's why
I can't help that smile on my face. I didn't put it there, God did. And Sherry, love you, love you. I'm glad you had a great time in New York. I saw your post, and I'm super glad to be here. Tim, you know I love you, brother. I'm going to be DMing you about something really absolutely important that I want to speak to you about. And glad to be here, everybody. Love you all. Mama B, love you. Wow. Anyway, let me just stop here. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. And I'm okay with that, Olu. If your name means God, one thing that I've learned is that in language, words can have a number of meanings, but at the end of the day, it's what's the intent in our heart when we do and say the things that we say. So I think our Lord would be okay with me calling you Olu because he knows that it's just a reverence and a level of connection that I feel with you. So thank you for sharing that. And that's something for a lot of us or others to learn, about that. And that's why I find it important to try to pronounce people's names the way that they were intended, not the way that they're willing to settle for. Because I respect what people's names mean. It's important, more important to some people than others. But at the end of the day, as a confident and effective communicator, it's about connection. And when you take the time to try to understand how to pronounce someone's name the way it's supposed to be pronounced, that puts you leaps and bounds ahead of other people in their life that don't care or see any significance in that because you took the time to acknowledge them and something that's important to them. That came from their parents. So it's important. So with that, what I will do, I want to go ahead and thank everyone that is here that's listening. Mr. Aguil, thank you, sir, for joining in. Brenda, always great to see you. Loan, Stephanie, Ingrid, who was a speaker, Truce, Rookie, good to see you. Madev, Chimize, let's see, Kamizi, Mr. Francis. I know I can pronounce Mr. Francis, but I would love to know how to pronounce that the proper way at some point in time. We've got Andrew, Yurison, Monique, Patrice, Tuminho. We also have Magic Stick, Edmund. We've got Carol Brown, who was a speaker, Ash K, God did. We have Abdenazir, Kofi, Prince. We have Mengisteep. We also have Ambrose, Riri, Billow. We've got Dixon, Naomi. I'm going to guess that's Naomi. Hopefully it's correct. But we've got Hossein, News Addict, and then we've got Prince Kumar, who's also in the space. So thank you all for joining us and listening in. Your presence is just as valuable as everyone that comes and speaks, because who would we be speaking to if it were not for you as listeners? And your presence is extremely valuable. And then to all of you that did speak, Olu, Nir, thank you, sir. Gear, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. Gear, because I've learned it in Arabic, the GH sound is gear, gear. Yeah, so hopefully that's correct. Gear.
Gear. Yeah, thank you, Tim.
Gear.
Sorry about that interjecting, but I appreciate. I missed a lot of this stuff, but can I say a few words?
Go ahead.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You have no idea how I appreciate you. You are one of the people that I follow and I dearly value regarding communication because there's a lot of chaos in Twitter space going on. Really, with no content other than just people sharing their views that really contradict and creates polarization in the community or countries we live in. But I appreciate this communication is extremely important and getting connection. Another stuff, maybe suggestion, by way of suggestion, is that Mr. Brown, communication, yeah, you're trying to connect with other people, but I think having to create an understanding, trying to understand rather than to be understood is extremely important in connecting with people, right? So if we can bring that kind of subject into the area of confident speaking, connection, trying to understand before trying to be understood is if we can have some kind of program or put it in your calendar that would help us to understand each other, because especially in the African American community, sir, there is this kind of problem of connecting with various diasporas, especially in the of African diaspora, a relationship with the African American community, and there are those communities who call themselves Black Americans. Nowadays, Africa has gotten out of favor from the African American community, unfortunately, however minority there are. So I would like to have that kind of stuff bringing us together to the issues we all together face, and the challenges we face, we have to face them together instead of being separate and apart from each other. We are one. In fact, life begins in Africa, out of which all of us began. And so if you can have that kind of stuff where bringing us together, confronting the challenge we face, either culturally difference in linguistic differences or cultural other differences, I think we should value diversity, and that's the only way you can become together or united. But thank you so much. I value your content, the things that you're trying to do to bring people together to have confidence, and there is value in that, and I appreciate so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And that's a great ad at the end. And I love the boldness that Kier just showed. At the end, he's like, you know what? I have a moment right now. I have the mic. Let me do this. And he took it. And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes you have to kind of kick the door open when you're trying to get somewhere or accomplish something. So I appreciate you sharing that. And it was on his heart. That was something that was heavy on his heart, that he felt like he needed to share in that moment. And that's what I was describing earlier. When you have that fire shut up in your bones, sometimes it doesn't matter. You have to say it because it's just that important in that moment. And I hear you, Gear. That is something that needs to be done. And it's something that I've been thinking about. I've been thinking of a few people to try to coordinate that with. There's Mr. Hamoud that comes in the space sometimes that brought that up. He's from Saudi Arabia. So I've had people now from Africa, someone from Saudi Arabia that has said something similar, even from the perspective of language, because I spend time in spaces where they're native Arab speakers, which has led to me trying to learn some Arabic myself. So it is something important that needs to be done. And that's something that we're going to work on making happen, to do that, because I know a lot of people are wanting that. Olu. I think your mic is covered.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So please forgive me for quickly butting in, just because of what my brother just spoke about and the fact that it's really wonderful to hear that you, Tim, have been working on the same thing with other people. That is something that I am 100% absolutely passionate about. Excuse me, forgive me. If you take a moment to Google the word Regal Africa, regalafrica.com, you'll see how super committed I am to that spirit. We started something about that 2 years ago in Culver City, California. And all we want to do is celebrate and elevate all that we know to be beautiful about Africa. The language, the people, the culture, the fashion, the food, everything. It's very easy for the world to see what's bad. However, it's more proactive, more forward-looking, more forward and growth-minded to see and celebrate what is good. And that's what we're doing. The language, the people, regardless of religion. Let me say here, I am 1,000,000% all about Jesus. Everything I do, who I am, my breath, my life is to glorify Jesus. But I am not a religious fanatic or religious person. And my faith does not define my relationship with people. And that's why what we've done, what we're doing, what we're trying to do is not about faith, it's about the people. And so I'm with you, Tim. Please put me in that conversation, put me in that number. Yeah, I'm with you. I have lots of friends from that part of the world. Let's do this together. It's not about me or just one of us, it's not about all of us. And by the time we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps back, we'll see that all of us are connected. Sherry, Tim, Mama B, all of us, all the way going a few steps back, we're all one. And let's get back to that. So, Tim, I'm with you. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Olu. And I know you are, sir. I definitely appreciate that. And I look forward to it. So we will make that happen. I'm going to contact Mr. Hamoud as well. And we're going to figure some things out here. So one person at a time, one conversation at a time is how we impact and change the world. So thank you all. I really appreciate that. And hopefully everyone has had a fantastic time, and just keep hanging out with us, keep coming back, keep participating, and stay intentional about what you're doing. And everything is going to be just fine. You're going to see life change in ways that you never imagined or never even thought you wanted your life to change when you remain committed to becoming a confident and effective communicator. And I just appreciate you all. I appreciate you. Much love, everyone. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Confident Speaking Space. Your contributions as a speaker and your presence listening live or on the replay are greatly appreciated. If you enjoyed the experience and want to show some love, feel free to visit the link on my profile and buy me a coffee. Until we meet again, I pray you have a fantastic week ahead. So be blessed, be safe, and be intentional about becoming a more confident and effective communicator. Let's get it.